Sagas are a wonderful card type in Magic, often very flavourful, quite powerful, and loaded with building potential. And well, the popularity of Tom Bombadil and Narcy just goes to show how much people want to play these things. But once you get past those two, the numbers really kind of drop off the cliff for any commander. And that's a shame, because there's some real fun build-arounds like Sigurd, Javier Sal, or today's focus, Barbara Wright. That's right. It's Doctor Who again, baby. Woo! So Barb here is a 2-mana white legendary human advisor 1/3 who gives all sagas a read ahead and is a Doctor's companion. Barbara is absurd, I'm just going to say it outright. She facilitates so many wild plays and opens up the flexibilities of sagas tenfold. In fact, it's that second part, the flexibility and utility, where Barbara really shines. Because while yes, a lot of sagas are designed with starting at chapter 1 very much in mind, go figure, there are also plenty where going through each chapter is by no means necessary, and in fact every chapter provides different but powerful utility. Let's take the first Arowan games, for example, where giving it read ahead means that you can enter it on any chapter 1 to 4, and thus turn it on entry into whichever of a token generator, buff, draw spell, or gold producer that you need right then, with just some extra benefits to follow later. Or how about the Song of Erendil, which is very similar, but can also just kind of win games by entering it on chapter 3. And let's not forget Cura Best's the Sea God, which is a dumb card as is, let's not get me wrong. But can you imagine how absurd it would be if it were modal? Bob can. Or how about the sagas where they just do something wild on their final chapter, because it was supposed to take time to get there, and Big Bob just kind of ignored that? There and Back Again makes a Smaug token, which explodes into treasure. Ballad of the Black Flag reduces historic spell costs by 2, allowing for huge saga storms. Scroll of Isildur just draws you a full grip of cards, etc. And let's not forget these will also be triggering your enchantresses and stuff like Historian's Boon as well. In fact, one of my favourite weirdo cards to play in this deck is the Aesir Escaped Valhalla, which I enter on chapter 3 repeatedly to bounce itself back to hand to trigger all of my various effects over and over again. And hey, even cards with repeated chapters have decision trees and a load more clever play around them with Barb. Like with The War of the Last Alliance, which plays the balancing game of how many tutors you want and when you want the game-ending double strike blowout, but it always lands in your favour. Honestly, playing with just Barbara is fantastic, and frankly kind of wild, but as I'm sure you've noticed, I've featured a lot of blue, red and green cards in this ostensibly mono-white commander review, and that's because she's very rarely going to be alone in the zone. She's got 17 different options for doctors to partner with, after all. Your best bets are probably 12, 4, and 6, but you do also have other options, like 14 for a 4-colour pile if you're willing to shell out the 60 quid for him, or the Fugitive Doctor for Naya, though I wouldn't really recommend that last one. I love Fugitive, but these two do not synergize, and Sigurd or Eivor, I don't know, I don't play Assassin's Creed, would do a much better job for you in Naya Sagas. But anyhow, really, any of these guys open up your colour options wonderfully and can provide some brilliant extra synergies which will boost Barb's viability through the roof. I personally have her paired with 6 for, well, just fun clone shenanigans and synergies like Scroll of Isildur, having 2 of those enter on 2 and 3, and essentially guaranteeing a massive 2-shot boost of card draw over 2 turns. But if I haven't convinced you that Barb is worth playing yet, I'll invite you to listen to my favourite interaction with her. The Flip Praetors, and specifically, Jin. See, the Praetors exile themselves and then ETB when flipping into their saga sides, which means that these sagas can be read ahead with Barb. Most of them don't synergize very well, but Jin? Take him, flip him into the Great Synthesis, go straight to chapter 3, cast your entire hand, and then flip him back ready to do it again for only 4 mana. bonus points if you have enchantresses or a Sixth Doctor clone of Jin to just refill your hand whilst doing this, ready for that 7-card restriction, to just do it again. Barbara Wright is the true architect of the Great Synthesis, and if that doesn't want to make you play this lovely lady, I don't know what will.